Hello students, I am Rakesh Chauhan working as PCT Physics in Suraj School Bawal. I welcome you all in the e-learning classes of physics. Today in this video we are going to discuss about how the vectors are going to be added, means addition of vectors. Also we will discuss the subtraction of vectors, which is similar to the addition of vectors, but here this video is devoted for the addition and subtraction of vectors. So what are the various rules to add the vectors? There are two basic rules to add the vectors. First one is triangle rule of vector addition. Triangle rule of vector addition or subtraction, we can say. And the second rule is parallelogram rule of vector addition or subtraction. This first rule is also sometimes known as head tail rule. Why it is known as head tail rule, we will discuss it in detail. Head tail rule or head tail method, and this is sometimes known as tail rule or method. Okay, so first we are going to discuss the triangle rule of vector addition, and thereafter the parallelogram rule of vector addition. So let us start with triangle rule of vector addition. Suppose I am having these two vectors with me. This is vector A acting on a particle, and this is suppose vector B acting on the particle in this direction. And since you know, we represent the vector quantity by putting the arrow above that vector or that physical quantity or symbol. So this is A vector and this is B vector. Now question comes in our mind that what is head, what is tail. So from here you can say the vector is having a line as well as an arrow, you can say. So this line gives the magnitude. This line gives the magnitude of that vector, because vector quantity having both magnitude as well as direction. So this length of this line segment gives the magnitude, while this arrow gives the direction. This gives the direction of the vector. Okay, so we can say that this arrow, or we can say this point, is known as head of the vector, and this from where the vector is going to be started is known as tail. So this is tail and this is head. Similarly, this is tail and this is head of the vector. So why this method is known as head tail method? Now you are inching towards getting the idea. Okay, first we will discuss, or we will state, what is triangle rule of vector addition. So if we want to add these two vectors using triangle rule of vector addition, then what we are going to do, we will construct the two sides of a triangle by using these two vectors given. So this is vector A, which I have written here. The magnitude is same, the direction is same, so there is no alteration in the direction and magnitude of this A vector. And next we will put this vector B vector on the head of this vector A vector, such that the magnitude of B vector and direction is not going to be changed. So I am trying to place this vector by simply not altering the direction and magnitude of this vector. So suppose this is B vector and this was A vector. So what I have done, I have placed this A vector as it is in the direction. Thereafter, at the head of this A vector, I have simply put the tail of this second vector, that is B vector, without changing its direction and magnitude. Okay, so now these are the two sides of a triangle. So if I construct the triangle using these two sides, then definitely if I join this point to this point, or you can say the head of this B vector to the tail of this A vector to construct a triangle. So this will be the third side of this triangle. Okay, and suppose this is C vector. So this C vector basically represent the sum of A vector and B vector. So this is why this method is known as triangle rule of vector addition or head tail method of vector addition. Why it is head tail method? Because we are putting the tail of second vector on the head of first vector. Or why it is known as triangle rule of vector addition? Since the resultant or these two vectors along with the resultant forming a triangle, therefore it is known as triangle rule of vector addition. So how will you define this triangle rule of vector addition? By getting the idea from here. So you will say if two sides of a triangle represent the two vectors in their magnitude and direction in a particular direction in an order, we can say, because the order of A vector and B vector is in this direction, suppose anti-clockwise direction, then the resultant, or we can say the third side of that triangle will represent the sum, or you can say the resultant of those two vectors but in opposite order. So the order of A vector and B vector was in this direction, and this is the direction of resultant vector which is opposite in order. So according to triangle rule of vector addition, if two sides of a triangle represent the two vectors as their magnitude and direction, then the third side of the triangle will represent the resultant of these two vectors but in opposite direction. Okay, so that is the triangle rule of vector addition. Okay, now we will derive the formula of resultant vector, that is C vector, in terms of A vector and B vector. But in some books this resultant vector is denoted as R vector. So here also I am denoting it as R vector. There is no harm in denoting this resultant vector as C vector, but here for simplification, or you can say for the general convention, we are representing it as R vector. Okay, so first you must define or state the triangle rule of vector addition. So for your simplicity, I am just writing down this triangle rule of vector addition as if two sides or two vectors, we will start with as this, if two vectors represent the two sides of a triangle in magnitude and direction, then the third side of that triangle will represent the resultant of those two vectors in opposite order or direction. In opposite order means the direction of resultant will be in opposite order to that of A vector and B vector. So this is the statement of triangle rule of vector addition. Now let us discuss the mathematical expression for this resultant vector in terms of the angle between A vector and B vector. So suppose the angle between A vector and B vector is given as theta. So we want to derive the expression of this resultant vector, both magnitude and direction, in terms of A vector, magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector, and the angle between A vector and B vector. So you can note down this statement for the time being. So let us discuss the mathematical analysis, or to the mathematical analysis of the triangle rule of vector addition, which we have just discussed about. So according to triangle rule of vector addition, if these two vectors are representing the two sides of a triangle in some order, then, or in the same order, then the third side of this triangle will represent the resultant of these two vectors but in opposite order. So this was the diagram we have discussed earlier. So now suppose A vector and B vector is having theta angle making with each other. So this is the angle theta which A vector and B vector are making to each other. Okay, and this is angle, suppose alpha, which the resultant of A vector and B vector is making with A vector. So suppose I am representing this point as O, and this point as P, this point as Q, then this is a OPQ triangle. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to derive the expression of magnitude and direction of this resultant vector in terms of magnitude of A vector and B vector and the angle theta. So what I'm going to do, I have just extended this A vector as this, and a perpendicular is drawn on this line OP, extended line OP, such that this angle is 90 degree. Okay, so if I take this, the magnitude is definitely magnitude of B vector, and the projection of B vector on this, which I have represented as, suppose M, this point is suppose M. So if I say you that what is the value of PM, so you will say it is B cos theta. Why it is B cos theta? Because this is a right angle triangle, and in right angle triangle cos theta is equals to base upon hypotenuse, and base is this PM, and hypotenuse is this PQ. So PM upon PQ, and if I want to have the value of PM, so it will be PM is equals to PQ cos theta. What is PQ? So PQ is nothing but the magnitude of this B vector. So means I can write down this PM as B cos theta. Okay, so similarly I can write down this perpendicular as B sin theta, because if I take sin theta, so you will say sin theta is MQ or QM divided by PQ, perpendicular upon hypotenuse, and QM is equals to PQ sin theta, and PQ is nothing but magnitude of B, which is represented as B simply. So B sin theta, this is QM. So this is B cos theta, this is B sin theta. Now using the Pythagoras theorem, you must have heard about Pythagoras theorem. What is Pythagoras theorem? Using Pythagoras theorem, what can be written from this triangle OMQ? It is a right angle triangle, so Pythagoras theorem can be applied. So using Pythagoras theorem, from triangle OMQ, the square of hypotenuse, that is R square, mod of R square, means this is R square, is equals to, or we can say OQ square is equals to mod of this OM, that is OM square, plus mod of this perpendicular, that is MQ square. What is Pythagoras theorem? The square of hypotenuse is equal to the sum of square of base plus square of perpendicular. So the hypotenuse is OQ, the base is OM, and the perpendicular is MQ in this right angle triangle, that is OMQ. Okay, now this OQ can be written as mode of R vector, and normally we represent mode of R vector as this, but I am taking is, you can also represent it as this because this is a scalar quantity. Okay, so R square is equals to OM. What is OM? So OM is this distance, which can be represented as mode of A vector plus B cos theta. So mode of A vector, or you can say this is OP plus PM. What is OM? OP plus PM whole square plus MQ square. Now OP is mode of A vector. OP, what is OP? OP is the length of this A vector, which is the magnitude in fact, and magnitude we represent as A or mode of A vector. So simply I am representing it as A. If you not put the sign of vector, then it becomes scalar or simply magnitude of that physical quantity. So this is A plus B cos theta whole square plus MQ. What is MQ? MQ is B sin theta. So B sin theta whole square. Now if I simplify this as using the formula A plus B whole square, it will become A square plus B cos theta whole square plus 2AB cos theta, and this will become B square sin square theta. Now this can be written as A square plus B square cos square theta plus this B square sin square theta. I am simply writing down just out, just in front of this B square cos square theta. So it becomes B square sin square theta plus 2AB cos theta. Now you can take B square common from these two terms. So it will become A square plus B square cos square theta plus sin square theta. And you know this is an algebraic, or you can say trigonometric identity, that cos square theta plus sin square theta is equals to 1. So we will put the value of this identity. So it will become R square is equals to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So this is the formula of resultant vector in terms of magnitude of A vector, magnitude of B vector, and the angle between A vector and B vector. This R can be written as root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So this is very important formula of addition of vector using triangle rule, or you can say the important formula of vector addition. So here R is the magnitude of resultant vector, but this R is is a vector which also possesses the direction. So we will also derive the formula of this alpha angle, or the direction, which gives the direction of this resultant vector using this triangle. So you can note it down, this derivation, and you must keep in mind this formula of resultant vector, which you will use also in 11th class throughout, as well as in 12th class, and as well as in your higher classes also. So this is very important or standard formula for calculating the resultant vector or the magnitude of resultant vector of addition of two vectors, A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta whole root. Now we will derive the formula of the angle which this resultant vector is making with this A vector. So from triangle is same OMQ. If I ask you that what is tan alpha, tan of alpha is this angle, so you will say tan alpha is nothing but perpendicular upon base. So perpendicular is MQ and base is OM. And now we can put the value of mq as, what is mq? It is b sine theta. So this is b sine theta divided by om. What is om? Om is the total distance, which is mod of a vector plus b cos theta. So a plus b cos theta. So using this formula, we can calculate the value of alpha, which is the angle made by the resultant vector of a vector and b vector with a vector. So this is also the important expression to find the direction of resultant vector using mod of a vector, mod of b vector, and the angle between these two vectors. So if I ask you that suppose a vector and b vector are making 90-degree angle, a special case, if I talk about a special case, if theta is 90-degree, what does it mean? A vector is perpendicular to b vector. So how this formula would change? Suppose this is equation first and this is equation second. So from equation first we can calculate the magnitude. From equation first, if I put theta is equal to 90-degree, means cos 90. So cos 90 becomes 0. So this complete term will become 0. So the resultant comes out to be r is equals to square under root of a square plus b square. So this will be the formula of calculating the resultant between a vector and b vector if the angle is 90-degree. And what will be the value of this tan alpha, so or resultant? So if I put theta in place of theta as 90-degree, so it will become sine tan alpha from equation second. From equation second, tan alpha is equals to b sine 90 divided by a plus b cos 90, you can say. And this cos 90, what is cos 90? Cos 90 is 0, so it will become b upon a. So this is the value of tan alpha. And if b and a are having same magnitude, that may be some sub case of a special case, so it will become tan alpha is equals to 1 and alpha becomes 45-degree. Or using this formula you can calculate the angle between the the value of angle alpha, which is the angle made by resultant to the a vector. So this is the special case of the triangle rule of vector addition. But I suggest to you that these two formula you must keep in mind for solving the numerical problems on the triangle rule of vector addition. So in this lecture, this is all we want to discuss, triangle rule of vector addition. In our next video, we will discuss about the parallelogram rule of vector addition, and we will find these formulas, or in fact same formulas, using parallelogram approach or parallelogram method of vector addition. So this will be covered in our next video. Thank you very much for watching this video.